Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So we have a Patreon members exclusive going up, but then we were made aware of this earthquake swarm, so we want to do this first, covering 380 quakes in Southern California past 24 hours, according to the USGS. And there's a big swarm northwest of Mexicali. And I've seen this again in this area. There's been times when there's been over 1,000. I do remember pretty big swarms by the Salton Sea. It's been so long since we talked about some of the deeper, in-depth details to the system of faults that we have in the West. Because, man, again, this is an active area. A very active area. You see this right here. This is a major fault line. And I think if you take this red line, it's my belief that this right here collided with, again, what's the mainland of the North American plate. Perhaps 1700, the Great Cascadian Quake that was listed at 9.0 to 9.5. That literally washed away tons of Native American villages. When we look at this is a big swarm, so it's something to make note of when you're talking just in this small little area here. 347 quakes in 24 hours, centered, again, just south of the Salton Sea. And, man, you just got to be watching out, because it feels like we're getting ready for the real big earth changes. We've seen floods like crazy. We've seen so many earthquakes, even tsunamis, again, volcanic activities increasing. But I still think we really haven't seen anything yet compared to the bigger changes that come when Mother Earth does her cleansing and needs to remove the vestiges of this dark matrix system that the world has been under power of for perhaps thousands of years, maybe going all the way back to the Younger Dryas event.
Well, something needs to happen with these data centers going up. I mean, they are toxic and they're just a poison.
And we know this. People know this logically. They sense this. Right now is all about people waking up and realizing, wait a minute, I can't just go by facts and figures that are given to me by authorities that have vested interest in certain outcomes. You know what we mean. Again, it's becoming very obvious again that the political system has been all about just profits. The military-industrial complex is a profit-making machine. That's all it knows how to do, and that is at the expense of actual lives. So 562 earthquakes in 24 hours on the Earth. We've seen thousands at times when you had major swarms. This one did strike me as unusual. This popped up yesterday, 4.3, 15 kilometers southwest of Smoky Lake, Canada. I was looking at this in detail. It's northeast of Edmonton, Canada. It just feels like something's going to break. And then when I looked at the day today, I said, holy cow, okay, well, this is another day, May 10th. I always go through every May 10th wondering, is this the one that Nostradamus talked about? Because he gave us one prophecy, and by the way, it looks pretty reptilian there. Yeah. He gave us the prophecy in his famous book of 100 centuries there, 10 centuries, 100 verse quatrains. Again, going back to actually pretty close to the time that we had that major event in the UFO arena over Nuremberg. It was really right around that time that he gave us the prophecies, now that I think about it. So, century 9, verse 83. Sun, 20th of Taurus, the earth will tremble very mightily. It will ruin the great theater filled to darken and trouble air, sky and land. Then the infidel will call on God and the saints. So many people have talked about this being a very famous quake. Is this the big quake? I do think we've gotten from the guides that there's a potential for something maybe, well into the nines at some point in our future, maybe even what would be a 10. At some point in our future, that literally changes the Earth's landscape. And perhaps it has to do with the shifting of the poles. Certainly it has to do with moving of land masses. I think when you look at this, to darken and trouble air, sky and land, well, when you look to everything going on volcanically, we were just talking about the possibility of a volcanic winter. If you had a VEI 7, that is a very strong volcanic eruption that would bring so much debris up into the atmosphere that it literally can affect growing seasons seriously. I would not be surprised if we have something like that happens anytime, because when you look at it, there's an awful lot of signs that we're in a period that's of great change. And, there's a lot of things going on that's man-made and technological. And then there's also, the big events that are part of the turn of the yugas. So Nostradamus predicts a major earthquake when the sun is at 20 degrees at Taurus, which typically occurs around May 10th or May 11th each year. This prophecy, again, Century 9, Quatrain 83, states the earth will tremble strongly, ruining a great theater or stadium, causing darkness and trouble in air and land. The text further notes, during this event, an infidel will call upon God and the saints. Maybe it's something, that, again, could trigger just simple fear. When people are really fearful, they have a tendency to pray. Again, there's that statement, there's no atheists in foxholes. So, again, if it's something that really does shock us, and a lot of people will be doing whatever it is to communicate to a higher power. So, this is one of those ones where we have a specific time frame, about May 10th, May 11th, but we don't know what year. And again, there's also the realization that timelines are always changing. So every year when we get past this time period, I always say, okay, good, we got time before that. Not that it has to happen, because again, timelines are always changing. But it is interesting to see how so often there seems to be truth in some of these.
Yeah, I mean, tis the season. Tis the season when we're looking at Taurus. But if you also look at Nostradamus, you can break it down. You can look at Taurus in other ways. Taurus is our stability. It's our platform. It's our 3D platform in which we function with. It's our grounding. It's our home. It's our collections. It's our money. It's the way we do things. It's how we. It's completely how we function. Taurus is very, Taurus is tangible. It's tangible. So it's our way of life. And, then the great quake, we could look at, maybe it's not exactly a great quake, but maybe it's a big crack in the system, and which we do have and we are seeing right now. But how is this going to play out exactly, since Nostradamus does, he does things, symbolically. He had to do things symbolically. So what really are we looking at? I think we are in a season of huge change. And, even looking at Uranus and its placement right now, putting pressure on our way of life and putting pressure on the way we do things. Not to mention, everything that's going up with the data centers. They are trying to change Earth's frequency vibration. And I strongly feel she is definitely going to push back on that. She's not going to tolerate that for too long. It's something that I've been picking up, sensing in the ether, and feeling like another channeling coming up about the data centers and what exactly is that doing to the playing field that we all have to share. Because if we cannot live peacefully, all of us together, something is going to have to change. And usually that is in the form of some type of destruction to recreate a better way of living. because Earth's frequency will not tolerate this kind of disruption.
Yeah, exactly. So, if we can't get the data centers and that type of technology holocaust that is what it is in my mind, because again, it's so destructive to the environment. It literally is. The environment is a consciousness. And this right here, scientific consensus, experts from institutions like the Griffith Observatory and Caltech have consistently stated that planetary alignments have no effect on tectonic activity. Earthquakes are caused by motions within the Earth, not by the positions of stars or planets. That just shows ignorance. These people don't know what they're talking about. They are totally cutting out of the picture of reality the consciousness part of it, and the fact that it's all one ocean of consciousness. But this is the way the system is. It's extremely ignorant to some very simple and obvious truths that we can see so clearly once we remove the blinders from our eyes. So again, this doesn't have to be anything, and hopefully by the end of the day, this just kind of calms down. But at the same time, this cleansing of the system has to happen. It has to happen. Now, I think if humanity really does step up and just not accept what the system is doing, then I think that a lot of the earth changes that are coming could be lessened. I think if we started to work on cleaning up all the chaos that it has brought us, and stop doing our destructive things that we do, which again, there's so much technology out there that could be had and utilized that could be cleaning up the environment and really cleaning it up. I mean, they talk a game, but in reality, when they push climate change, they're just pushing a new tax on you and me. It's just another way to, again, maintain control and profits as these people are totally self-serving to the point of their own self-destruction. The more we realize that everything is interconnected. We are part of one system. We are all cells in the body of the earth. So, it's kind of like you got a choice, and when you're storing up treasures in heaven, to quote the Bible, what are you doing? You're putting out good karma. You're helping the whole. You're working towards helping the whole. It's not about individual profits at the expense of everything else, which is what the system is doing and trying to corrupt people into accepting as the norm. In fact, that has been the norm. So, again, this is really where we can interpret things as wrath of God when great quakes come and stuff. But in reality, it's just like your own body. If your immune system is functioning properly, it will send out white blood cells to fight an invader. We are acting like invaders. This dark matrix control system is a cancer on the body of Earth. It's going to be removed because we're on the ascension side. We're going up into a higher frequency. And the thing is, though, if they keep doing what they're doing, and toxifying the environment and toxifying us, then they will be stopped in a different manner, and the earth will stop it herself.
Yeah, she sure will.
So we wanted to share that with you guys, get your feelings and thoughts. Again, it may not be this year. It might be 5 years. It might be 20 years. It might be 100 years. But, again, it's good to be prepared and keep putting out the higher frequency. Keep calling out the system for what it is and not accepting what they try to steamroll us into. Again, show love to each other. We have to stick up for each other.
And to all you folks out there, happy Mother's Day, whether you have regular children or they're not your regular children. We all mother in some way.
And think about that. It's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
The mother is the earth, right?
That's right.
And so would it be on Mother's Day that the earth would make a point? Or, again, could be technologically induced still.
I know, but everyone who has loved and mothered anyone out there or anything, happy Mother's Day, and thank you.
Much love. Thank you for your support. Again, join us on Patreon and also with YouTube memberships for exclusives. Source bless. Namaste.
Namaste.